Hello there, Gotham fans, and welcome to what is our fourth to last video, actually, for the season, or for each individual episode, because we're on episode 19 this week. Hasn't the season flown by? It feels like only yesterday we started off on season 2, and now suddenly we've got 3 episodes left, and then we're done, which is really sad, because it's been a fantastic season, but we'll talk about the whole season at the end of the season. So, obviously we just need to issue a quick spoiler alert for last night's episode and possibly back into earlier in Season 2 as well, as one of our main characters from Season 2A made a reappearance. Obviously he came back last week, but he's in it more this episode. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this week's episode. So this week's episode then, Season 2, Episode 19, was titled Azrael, or Azrael, however you want to pronounce it. Azrael, I'm going to say. Now, Azrael is Theo Galavan's new name / identity. He was a knight from the Order of Saint Dumas, one of the early knights from the Order of Saint Dumas, who we learned a few episodes, or not a few episodes ago, but all the way back in 2A, were descended from crusading knights in the 12th century. Which I'm actually learning about. I've been learning about in history, the Crusades, and also my other program that I like at the moment, Grimm. The Grimms were descended from Crusaders as well. So it's all kind of, everyone seems to be descended from Crusaders. It's brilliant. So my 5 words, or under them, are that there's only 3 words, and my 3 words are heading full circle. Because I feel like we're kind of bringing it back to where we were at the beginning, or not bringing it back to where we were at the beginning, because it's developed a whole lot more since then. The program's got so much better than the beginning of Season 2 was. I feel like we are bringing all the storylines to a point where we could end them at the season close, or the season finale, and then pick them up again 6, 7 months down the line when we start Season 3. And I feel like we'll still be just as involved as we are now in 6 months' time. So let's take a look first of all at Jim Gordon. Now, he confronted Strange at the beginning of the episode, near the beginning of the episode, and he found out the truth by tricking him. So he found out the truth about Pinewood and about whether he was involved with the Wayne's murder and everything else like that, that Strange's been involved in basically since he's arrived, and pretty much since we learned about him being the philosopher. I think it was last week's episode in Pinewood, episode 18 that was. His conversation with Bruce and then going to Barnes' crime scene was really good, but also it was really risky. I think Jim Gordon is really pushing his luck with this. As much as I like Jim Gordon, I feel like he's been pushing boundaries a bit too much over these last few weeks. I feel like the writers have given him too much to kind of try and achieve in as small a time as they've got with him left. I don't know. The fight with Azrael was exciting. I thought that the fight this week that he was given was really well choreographed this week. It wasn't quite as interesting as maybe some of the other fight scenes, and not as intimate as some of the other fight scenes we've had, but it gave it a real sort of gritty feel to it, that, you know, they were almost fist fighting. And I don't think we've had much by the way of actual fist fighting with Gordon. It's always been more shoot them and kill them, whereas this time it gave them a bit of a back and forth sparring almost, which was really good. And also shooting Azrael was good, although I did think that Azrael was dead, but he just doesn't seem to want to die, does he? He just doesn't seem to die, which is good, because I like Azrael because it's Theo Galavan reincarnated, and I really like Theo Galavan, so I don't want him to die again. And then when he was left the GCPD building at the end, it was quite sad, I think. It's quite a sad moment to see him admit that he has nothing left kind of in the world. He has to, the only place that he ever felt really at home was the GCPD building, because that's where he spent most of his life. And the fact that he had to walk away from that, I think gives us a real insight and a real depth and a real sadness to Jim Gordon's character that we haven't really seen much of over the last few weeks, when he's just been on a kind of war path to get back at the people that have basically taken him from this high position that he was in at the kind of season 2 A ending to as the hero, and then back down to almost what is a villain. And that's what's quite good about this program, is that it paints even its heroes as villains in some episodes, and the villains as heroes in other episodes. It depends on what episode you're watching. Now, Harvey Bullock. Now, he had a decreased screen time again this week, which is a little disappointing. I'm not even going to basically acknowledge his existence this episode because I didn't feel like there was much there. He had a little bit of a conversation with Bruce, but there was no funny lines, which we kind of come to expect from him. But it just felt a little bit disappointing with Harvey. It seems like they've just kind of left him out on purpose almost, because he's not integral to the story, which is fair enough. But I would like to see him, because he's second on the list of characters. On the list of main cast at the beginning, he is second on the list behind Jim Gordon. So you kind of expect a bit more from him, but we're not getting that. So it's quite disappointing. Now, Captain Nathaniel Barnes. He had some brilliant scenes this week. He got angry at Jim, which was interesting to see. I love watching him get angry because he's a very good actor. Michael Chiklis, I think. He's a very good actor at that. Getting angry. Sorry. His fight with Azrael was great. And then he was stabbed by Azrael, which was quite a sad moment, I think. I don't feel like I've ever felt really sorry for Barnes or really upset for Barnes, but I think this week I felt this kind of inner sadness that I hadn't really had a chance to express for Barnes, as he's always seemed quite a, massive, he's a very tough figure and not really that kind of emotion. I think the last emotion bit we had might have been episode 11 of season 2, when he was talking to, I think it was episode 11, Worse Than a Crime, when Jim was talking to him and Barnes was giving him the decision. It might have been, no, it wasn't that. I think it might have been episode 8. I don't know. Some point in season 2A, when I felt sorry for Barnes. And he's been transferred to hospital, and obviously I hope that he will live because I quite like him as a character. Now, Bruce and Alfred. I'll talk about Alfred first quickly. Alfred was only in it for one scene to kind of give Bruce a little bit of a talk, but that was about it, so there wasn't really much for Alfred to do. But Bruce was told that the evidence against Strange wouldn't be enough to convict him and send him to jail, which obviously angered Bruce because he wants his parents' killers brought to justice. And the fact that he's not getting justice is making him more and more angry, I feel, which is not going to end well for himself or for anyone else really, because it's going to send him completely into whatever, if he starts getting really angry, it's not going to help him really. And Bruce revealed that he knew that it was Gordon who killed Galavan, which was quite interesting. I feel like he used that against Gordon a bit. He's kind of used it as a blackmail tool, but I want to know how he found out, because I can't remember how he found out. Maybe he did find out in some point in the season, but I can't think how he found out, so I'm going to have to find out about that, because it's going to annoy me if I don't know. And he was told to go home as well and kind of leave the crime fighting to the police after he stood up to Barnes to protect Jim really. And I thought that was really brave of Bruce, because we're starting to see him get a bit braver now. We're starting to see him do things that we didn't see him doing back in season 1, but season 1 really was more of a focus on Jim Gordon's kind of build up through the police force, and his reputation was gaining, and now we're kind of seeing the villains a lot more as opposed to just focusing on the police. So obviously you're seeing a lot more of this kind of of Bruce in the second season, which is a lot better, and I like seeing that second season Bruce more than the first season Bruce, because he's a lot less whiny and whingy. He's a lot more strong, which is good because we like strong. And now we're going to move on to our villains. So there's 3 main villains for the week. There is, first of all, let's take a look at Edward Nigma. Now, he overheard Strange and Miss Peabody talking about Jim Gordon, and he suggested that he could help kill Gordon, which was rejected by Strange. But it's quite interesting, I think, to see Nigma become what is a secondary villain at first, but now he seems to be a primary villain because he's kind of trying to get rid of Jim Gordon and also try and break out of Arkham at the same time. He discovered that the concealed entrance to Indian Hill, which I thought was very sneaky, but also very clever the way he did it, by getting the other inmates to help him. He kind of suggested that there might be a way out of Arkham, and I don't really know what he was expecting to find behind the secret entrance, but now that he's actually got there, I want to know what he will think of Indian Hill, and what he will kind of do now he's found it. So before we look at our main villain for the week, let's take a look at Doctor Strange, or Dr. Hugo Strange, should I say. Now, he wasn't happy with Gordon for coming to confront him. He obviously wants him dead because who out of the villains doesn't want Gordon dead? All of the villains seem to want Gordon dead, and it's quite good that we get all these villains because it means that if they're all out for Gordon, it means at the same time they're all out for Bruce as well, which is going to be quite interesting to see. Now he claimed to be Adam Dumas, who was, I assume, the founder and kind of first leader of the Order of Saint Dumas, and he convinced Galavan that Galavan was Azrael, his son, by calling, it was really weird that scene. He directed him to kill, sorry, not Galavan, because he is Galavan. He directed him to kill Gordon. So off Azrael went. We'll discuss him in a second. And I want to know what Doctor Strange is planning to do next, because he had all them books from the library, and he wants to. He was saying that he wants to introduce new personas to other inmates as well, or maybe he wants to bring back more people. Maybe he wants to resurrect people. I'm very open to him bringing back two of my favourite characters that have been killed in this. Not one in the last season, one in this season. Fish Mooney, who died in episode 22 of season 1. I'd really love him to bring her back if he's going to bring out some more characters, that is. And Jerome as well from this season, who died in episode 3, the last laugh. Sorry, season 1, episode 22 was called All Happy Families Are Alike. So I'd like to see him bring them back. So finally then, let's take a look at Theo Galavan / Azrael. I think we have to change his name to Azrael actually. We'll change it to Azrael. Now, there was brilliant acting by James Frain this week, and I'm not just saying that because I like him as an actor. I think his acting was superb this week. He had, the killing that he did was done brutally, but it didn't feel kind of unnecessary. The killing felt necessary to the plot, and I'm always against kind of killing innocent people in anything really, and it's never that brilliant to see innocent people die, but his killing was unnecessary. It wasn't unnecessary for the plot. It was kind of that it had to propel the plot by him killing people to show his strength, his new strength that he's got. Now his armor, I was a bit disappointed to be honest, because I don't really know who Azrael is. He's in the comic books, I think, but I don't really know much about Azrael and the Order of Saint Dumas other than what's been in Gotham over the past season. But as I said, his armour looked more like Iron Man-ish in a way. It was more like an Iron Man suit, especially the mask. He looked a bit like Iron Man, and it was a little bit disappointing because I felt like they were just kind of stealing from Marvel there. Now I love the two fights, as I said he had, and then watching over Jim at the end I thought was devious, but it's amazing because he kind of showed him standing on the bridge with Gotham all spread out below him. And I think that shows his level of control over Gotham that he did have at the beginning of the season, when he was Theo Galavan, when he was the mayor. Now, Azrael doesn't actually have that control yet because he hasn't really established himself as a villain in the city, but I feel like that's what he will go on to do next week. So yeah, that's really quite good. Now, Penguin, Barbara, Butch and Tabitha, all saw the news reports about Mayor Galavan being alive. Penguin saw it from Dole Manor and the others from Butch's mansion. Now what will they do, particularly Tabitha, about Galavan still being brought back to life really? What will they do about that? So my conclusion was it was a fantastic episode with all the right elements to make this one of my favourite episodes from both seasons. So kind of overall from the whole series so far, so it's all the way through season 1 and most of the way through season 2. This is probably one of my favourite episodes because it is brilliantly put together, which brings my overall rating to a 9 out of 10. I've got a 9, another 9 finally. I've been waiting for a 9 for quite a while, and this one has brought me a 9. So I'm so happy with this episode. As you can tell, it's been a brilliant week for me. And yeah, I really hope you have enjoyed this week's episode. If you have, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below for more videos from Gotham. And also, if you like Game of Thrones, go and check out my reviews for that. Yeah, tell me what you thought of this episode in the comments below. Let me know, because I would really love you to tell me what you think as well. I don't just want to be giving my opinion. I want to know your opinion as well. If I've said something you don't agree with, or if I've said something you agree with, let me know. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. I will see you later on. Bye!